A viewer wrote into me about the Fisker Ocean. Thank you for providing such an interesting YouTube page. I was thinking of purchasing a used Fisker Ocean for about $20,000. I'm a pretty handy DIY type of guy and I live in California Bay Area. My question is, does it make sense to buy a Fisker if you live close to Sacramento? I understand there's a Fisker service center there, or does it still just not make sense with the cost of insurance and the limited supply of parts? I've done a couple test drives and it seems fun to drive. I saw your post with pros and cons and I was wondering if it would be different if you lived close to a service center. This email motivated me to just turn the response into a video, so I was able to go completely in depth with my response, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong down below. Thanks for reaching out. I'll outline some of the major considerations for ownership of a Fisker Ocean. Also, from my point of view, the ownership is a significant time commitment and cannot be considered to be a normal ownership experience. With that said, here are my thoughts. The first thing to know is there's absolutely no warranty on a Fisker Ocean. Every other EV, that's every single conceivable electric vehicle you can buy, except this one, has a transferable 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the battery. Also, in order to get service on your Fisker Ocean, you would need to join the Fisker Owners Association. This cannot be avoided, and absolutely nothing is under any warranty of any type. There are diagnostic tools, fixes to certain malfunctions, calibrations, and resets that need diagnostic tools that are unavailable to the public to be used. These tools have been designated for use in Ocean models that are connected to the Fisker cloud exclusively, and owners that are not members of the FOA eventually will not have access to connectivity or the cloud. The FOA is $150 a quarter to join, and the payment is ongoing, and will be the only way to have full access to diagnostic tools and updates. As of the most recently publicly available information, there is no way to service the computers in the Fisker Ocean without membership in the FOA. The tools are licensed by a third party and are distributed exclusively to FOA partners. There are a few exceptions like key fob programming that can be done without a membership to the FOA, but it is fairly complex and potentially expensive and time-consuming. Also, many parts will cost significantly more if you are not an FOA member, as there is a near monopoly on parts, and the pricing is tiered based on membership status. If you were to disconnect the 12-volt battery, or the battery would die, there is a high likelihood that your Ocean could brick or stop working completely. This vehicle requires an OCD amount of battery monitoring and battery tending hardware for a good experience. A long vacation away from the vehicle could spell the end to your Ocean ownership, in the event you're not a member of the FOA. And if you are, there's probably a long wait involved. It is my opinion that $10,000, or the market value of the battery of the vehicle, is the actual value of the vehicle, because of the inconceivable amount of time you could potentially spend tending to it. Between federal tax credits and state incentives, you could buy almost any EV outside of a less than 2-year-old luxury top-tier vehicle for $20,000 used. If you were considering a $20,000 example of a Fisker Ocean, it would need to run and drive flawlessly, have a complete version of software 2.2, 2 keys, and all hardware should be inspected and all recalls completed. I would also refrain from buying a Fisker Ocean that hasn't had the 12-volt battery replaced very recently, and evidence of both the battery replacement and current excellent battery health. These 4 absolutely fundamental caveats are totally necessary for an even satisfactory ownership experience. Without software 2.2, you would be at the back of a conceivably year-long line for an update that has bricked up to 10% of cars that receive it, rendering them useless until they can be serviced in person. 2.2 is the final software update for the Fisker Ocean, as ordered in a recall by NHTSA, and adds a significant amount of functionality and bug fixes. If the software in the Ocean you're looking at is an earlier version, you'll be constantly waiting for this update, you cannot consider your vehicle complete, and in resale terms, it will be worth less money. And as far as the update itself, you do need excellent battery health to even be considered for this update. Additionally, the Fisker Ocean was sold with only 1 key. A second key would require a service appointment, a meetup with a local Owners Association member, or an expensive digital tool. It could cost up to $1,000 in the worst case, and at best would be $200, plus dozens of hours of hassle to coordinate a meetup with an FOA member or team, should you have chosen to join the FOA, which is also obviously an expense. If you only get 1 key and it were to fail, you would lose the ability to drive the Fisker Ocean. Key fob reliability was a very common problem during the early release of the vehicle. I cannot stress enough how important the 12-volt battery health is to this vehicle. It needs to be new, and in good health for a reliable ownership experience. You would need to purchase a battery tender and be able to actively monitor the voltage in your 12-volt battery. This cannot be avoided or ignored. If you would choose not to maintain high voltage and good health in your 12-volt battery, the Ocean is a ticking time bomb and would eventually be unable to drive at any given time. Finally, the water pump and door handles in the Fisker Ocean have been recalled. The door handles fail and have locked owners both in and out of the vehicle in the past. The water pump has a low likelihood of failure based on adhesive and its inappropriate application, which causes the Ocean to either stop working or only drive at a low power capacity, or turtle mode, and the Ocean is most vulnerable in extreme temperatures, most notably below freezing. Without the water pump recall completed, your Ocean could be subject to additional costs or very long wait times. I would not purchase a vehicle that has not had the water pump recall completed. The door handle recall is being addressed as the failure occurs at the current time, so I would closely examine the door handles before purchasing the vehicle. If the 2.2 software hasn't been fully completed, the water pump hasn't been replaced under recall, the 12-volt battery isn't new and in excellent health, and there isn't a second key, it is my opinion that each of these items, in terms of time commitment or potential out-of-pocket costs, should be considered at least $1,000 each, in terms of market or resale value. In other words, no two Oceans are equal in value. And because there's no manufacturer, these are extremely important caveats. I would negotiate rigorously with any dealer that cannot guarantee that all 4 of these caveats are met. Finally, on a lighter note, membership in the FOA is the most unique, bespoke car club on earth. If an exclusive car club experience interests you, there would be certain advantages to the lines of communication and opportunities available as an FOA member. Owning this car is a significant time commitment, and the future functionality of these vehicles will become increasingly difficult and uncertain as time passes. But there is a large group of dedicated owners who are obsessed with these vehicles, driven by both necessity and enthusiasm for their ownership, and this can definitely help if you decide to join. If you have additional questions, feel free to reach out. And if this email has made you more confused, or the details seem tedious and complex, there's an almost 100% chance that you will not enjoy the ownership of a Fisker Ocean. I hope this helps. That's my response. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Join Patreon or become a YouTube member for early access to videos. Subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, smash the like button.
Thank you.